The cheeky phrase that people have been using recently is the acronym TACO, which stands for Trump Always Chickens Out. But I'm not sure it's accurate. My sense is that Donald Trump thrives on bully tactics, and he does whatever he can to gain leverage over opponents, both real and perceived. The so-called Liberation Day tariffs announced on April 2nd were postponed after only a few days. They were initially set to be reinstated on July 9th, but have again been postponed until August 1st. No matter how long it takes, when the tariffs are imposed, Trump will not have chickened out. Instead, he will have done whatever he could to cause maximum chaos and instability for the countries that are being impacted. So I'd like to propose a new acronym, TOOTIE. Trump usually does it eventually. He seems to do what the hell he wants whenever he wants in a ways that suits his fancy, just to show he can. His utter disregard for social and political norms, not to mention pre-existing trade agreements, including those he himself negotiated, tend to leave people flummoxed because they have no way of knowing how to negotiate. They also don't know if he'll ever even abide by the deal that was reached. The tariffs are now set to kick in on August 1st, notably 25% on Japanese and South Korean imports and possibly up to 70% on other goods from another 12 nations. These will have significant and far-reaching effects on the global economy. For global trade and supply chains, the steep tariffs could dramatically spike import costs, disrupt established supply chains, and force companies to reroute through places like Vietnam or hubs in Southeast Asia. Much like what happened with the Smoot-Hawley tariffs in 1930, the world is already wary of ever-worsening trade tensions. Several governments are preparing countermeasures which could escalate into broader trade barriers impacting multilateral commerce. Global growth and market volatility. Institutions like the IMF warned that rising protectionism could shave off roughly 0.8% to 1.3% from global economic growth in 2025-26. Domestic GDP in the U.S. is projected to dip by 0.8% due to higher tariffs and retaliatory actions, with U.S. households effectively taxed an additional $1,200 to $1,400 yearly. If the April experience is any guide, equity markets will respond with increased volatility, and investors will flock to haven assets like gold. Consumer prices and inflation. Prices for such goods as autos, steel, and electronics will probably rise as tariffs act much like taxes passed on to consumers. That means inflation will be higher as import costs can fuel broader inflation. But central banks may delay rate cuts to combat the worry. In short, the delayed August 1st tariff announcement is more than just an economic move. It's a political leverage wrapped in a heavy dose of economic risk that threatens to slow global economic growth, increase prices, and shake investor confidence. Companies and countries are already seeking trade deals or alternative sourcing strategies to cushion the impact. Whether negotiations can avert a full-blown trade war remains the critical question in the coming weeks. The bottom line is this. Several impacts are likely to be felt almost immediately. To begin, U.S. consumers will see higher prices and reduced purchasing power. Exporters will lower foreign demand amid retaliatory tariffs. And businesses will see rising costs, supply chain reshuffling, and planning uncertainty. Finally, markets and investors will see heightened volatility and market weakness all around the world. The larger question for people who need to make better wealth decisions is simple. Is Donald Trump a taco or a TOOTIE? Is he a manipulator or a negotiator? Until now, the taco narrative has held sway. Markets have lurched forward after temporary uncertainty based on the understanding that Trump's antics are bluster designed to destabilize other countries with the presumptive benefit of helping the United States. Trump seems prepared to do things that are harmful to the U.S. if he believes he can inflict even more harmful pain to rival nations. If Trump usually does it eventually, then we need to come to terms. If the harmful actions he's taken are to be imposed indefinitely with no further delays or concessions, then when that day comes, and it may come as early as August 1st, we have to be ready. Until now, capital markets have been able to proceed as though the threats are not real and Trump will back down. But this may be a classic case of whistling past the graveyard.